many people, the COVID-19 pandemic has passed and is not given much thought or news coverage. Yet there's a growing number of people who have reported symptoms that have never left them. Many of them have had these symptoms for years. The Office of National Statistics estimates that over 2 million Britons have long COVID. You may have it, or you may know someone who is struggling with it. My name is Paul, and I've been debilitated by long COVID since January 22. In this podcast, I'm going to share my journey and things I've experienced along the way. My aim is not to give medical advice. I'm certainly not qualified to do that. But I've been gaslit, ridiculed and dismissed for my symptoms, and I know it can be a very lonely place to be. It's an invisible illness, and I just want people to know that they're not alone. Welcome to Life with Long COVID, with me, Paul Clark. Each episode I try to convey what it feels like to live with this chronic illness in the hope that it will help people feel less alone. And week by week, over the past year and a half since I've started this podcast, I've been in contact with so many people from around the world experiencing similar symptoms as a result of a COVID infection. So if that's you, whether you're here for the first time or the 50th, welcome. You're amongst friends here. Today I'm reflecting on a visit that I've had. I had, at the back end of last week, a visit from an occupational therapist, and she was in my home to do an assessment. There's a wonderful charity local to where I am who provides assistance, and they instruct an occupational therapist to attend the house and to assess what I might need. And they make recommendations about various things, and the charity tries to help me with them financially. They're a great charity, and I really appreciate it. This is the second visit that I've had. The first visit I had was a couple of years ago, and it was not a good experience. Even though it's wonderful to have this support, the job of the assessor is to go through your daily routine in a fine-tooth comb, should I say, to try to ascertain where you're experiencing difficulty in your day and recommend things that might help, whether that be a change to your routine or something practical that maybe the charity can help with, that I can buy that will help me with those things. And the first visit was, it was fantastic because it identified all kinds of things that I might have needed. And from that visit came things like a perching stool, which I bought for the kitchen, which, I've been struggling to prepare long meals or longer meals. And they recommended a perching stool, and that's been brilliant. It's got wheels, and it means I can wheel around the kitchen, making things whilst conserving energy at the same time. Really good. Other things also included a shower stool, and you'll know that if you suffer from chronic fatigue, that every minute, every second that you can spend saving energy is worthwhile. And even the act of having a shower in the morning can really tire you out for some considerable time afterwards. So the occupational therapist recommended a shower stool, which has been great, and I do use it on occasions. Probably I should use it more. But why it was negative and why I really wasn't looking forward to a second one is because it reminded me of all the things I can't do. Like in that condensed hour, I realised a couple of years ago how much my life had changed. And because you go into all the little things like preparing meals, going to the toilet, having a shower, getting dressed, before you even get to what happens if you need shopping What happens if you need to get in the car to go somewhere? That kind of detail that you go into. 2 years ago, it was like a juggernaut hit me. I felt as if all of a sudden I'd realised for the first time just how much long COVID was affecting me. And I felt really down. It affected me a lot for some time afterwards. Nothing, the assessor didn't do anything wrong or wasn't negative in any way, but it was kind of like a first realisation for me just how far-reaching long COVID had got. And for a previously able-bodied person to have to start to come to terms with using aids to sit on in the kitchen, shower stools, things to help get up off the toilet, that kind of stuff, it's, for a previously able-bodied person, it really hits you, because you never think it's going to happen to you until it happens to you, right? And I got the things that I needed, and actually what that visit was, it became a really important step in my chronic illness journey. That being faced with having to accept and need help and receiving that help and shifting my mind from what I saw as an able-bodied person to a disabled person was hard, but that was an important stage of it. I needed that. I needed somebody to sit in front of me and say, you know what, these things could really help change your life as you are at the moment. This is where you are now. And my family help me all the time and they're there for me, but when somebody outside comes in and does that, it's really powerful. It's like a professional coming in and saying, I see you, I see your need, and we're going to help with it. So this time, as this visit approached, I was dreading it because I had those kind of negative connotations with that first visit, and I thought, I don't know if I'm really ready to go through my daily routine, my life in such detail, but we've moved house since I had that assessment, and it's due for a new one. It'll be interesting to see where I'm at. So the assessment lasted for about 2 hours, and once again we went through my life and my routines, and I won't bore you with it now, but it was extensive. It went through some of the help that I'd received before, and we identified some areas that will help even further again. And what I got from that this time is, rather than feeling negative, this time I found the process just as helpful, but I wasn't down on this daily routine on things I can't do anymore. In actual fact, as we discussed it, there were small areas where I think I've actually improved from my assessment 2 years ago. Things around my cognitive brain fog. I still get brain fog, but I think probably the oxygen therapy has helped clear it a little bit because it's not as bad. I can do some things that I couldn't do before. Don't get me wrong, it's not gone away. It's still quite debilitating at times, but I can see a small improvement in that. And there are other things like that around the house, small things that I can see that I have made some progress in the last 2 years. Now, generally speaking, overall, I'm pretty much the same as where I was 2 years ago. I have to say, with a broad brush, I haven't changed that much. My mobility and energy needs are still the same. However, I'll take those small wins that we identified any day. And what I thought was going to be a negative thing turned out to be actually quite a positive thing, of me saying, well, actually, I don't use that anymore, or I don't need to do that anymore because that area has slightly improved. But more than that is my shift in mindset. Whereas once I was in a place where I would receive that kind of detail negatively, now I'm quite keen to get down, it seems, to the nitty-gritty and discuss all those finer areas, because I've kind of reached that point of acceptance that this is me now, and anything that can be provided that will help is fantastic and will make such a difference to my life. So more than anything, it reflects my change of my mind really, is what I'm trying to say in a foggy brain kind of way, is the shift in my mind and my mental health, which I think has improved over the last 2 years. Now from this visit, some things have been recommended. A better chair for me to sit in that elevates my legs, which I'm really going to need. I do need some transport options, like an off-road scooter, because I'd love to be able to walk the dogs a bit more, and it's been a very wet winter, hasn't it? Well, it has. If you're listening in the UK, it's been a really wet winter. I don't know if you're not in the UK how wet it is for you, but it'll be really nice to be able to get off the path and onto some grass, and to be able to try and walk the dogs in some shape or form. So that was another area which we kind of identified, but tiny things as well, like neck cushions, something for the garage door to help it to open. Those kind of things, small things, they don't cost too much, neck cushions and things like that, but I wouldn't have ever thought about it before, and I'm looking forward to giving them a try and seeing how much difference that's going to make to my life. So generally positive then, and the weather's improving here in the UK. It's definitely decided that it's spring. It's now March. There's a little bit of warmth in the air. I've actually found that the temperature's probably almost doubled since I last recorded an episode. It's gone from about 7 or 8 degrees to about 14 today. And what I've found so far is that the warmer the weather is, it actually slows me down physically. I feel a bit more heavy-limbed, but mentally, my mental health is a lot lighter. So there you go. It's a help in some ways and a hindrance in others. But I have to say that just to see the sun and feel the warmth is a massive bonus for me at the moment. And I continue with the oxygen therapy, and I'll continue to detail that both in my written articles and during these episodes as well. I've got another dose tomorrow, and then I'm going to review my therapy so far with Mark, the manager there, and I'm going to actually record a snippet as well so that I can play to you on a future episode for those that are interested in the benefits of high dosage oxygen therapy, which, as I say, so far it's been a mixed bag, but for brain fog it's been pretty good, I have to say. So I'm looking forward to having my mind back tomorrow for at least a short time. I love receiving your letters. I love receiving your messages and your emails and your comments on my articles, and I get them all the time, and it's probably time soon to join forces with Rachel, my wife, and to read you some of the responses that I get and reply to some of them. But I genuinely appreciate them. Those things that let me know that this is helping you in some way, and I really appreciate you reaching out from all corners of the earth, an earth that feels slightly scary at times for those of us who are stuck at home listening to the news, wondering what on earth is going on in the world. So if you're one of those people as well, you're not the only one. I'm with you as well. And with chronic fatigue, there's very little you can do about that, but listen and hope that things improve. If you want to join in the community, you can visit at www.lifeoflongcovid.co.uk, and you can sign up there. And as I always say, obligatory message is that you can choose to pay for a monthly subscription, but that doesn't affect anything at all. You can also choose to have it free if that's not your thing, and you get exactly the same content. I want this to be available to everybody who needs it, because sadly long COVID has not gone away. It is still around. I've recently detailed my difficulties via my last written article in getting any kind of face-to-face time with my doctor. I'm still fighting for that. I still haven't managed to speak to a doctor in person. Spoke to a pharmacist a few times and they've been really helpful, but I continue to try and speak to my doctor about medication and to show my face, and more than anything to say I'm still here and long COVID's still here, and you need to make a note of it, because it seems like my doctor's records that long COVID is no longer listed as one of the conditions that I have. It kind of falls off, and I feel like that's quite convenient if it just falls off after a certain time. So I'm going to ask them to put it back on my notes so that they know that it's on there as a diagnosis. Now, it doesn't make any difference to my treatment whatsoever, but what it does do, I think, is continue that awareness of saying, hey, we may be 5 years since the pandemic began, but there's still others here that are suffering. And I've seen a few articles recently resurfacing again about long COVID. So I'm hopeful that we can continue to keep this in the public consciousness where it belongs. So, may you this week, whatever you have to do, wherever you are, may you come to appreciate those small little helps that can be provided that will help you get through your daily routines. Whether that's a change in routine or something small that you can buy that helps. I hope that we can start sharing things like that together and help each other with these ideas. But until next time, stay safe, keep resting, guilt-free remember, and I'll see you again soon.